With me is Congressman Adam Smith. So, welcome to WION. It's great to have you here in Delhi. You had multiple conversations, meetings. But first, let me ask you about your visit, how your visit has been here in Delhi.
Our focus is on the defense industry. We're parts of the Armed Services Committee in the United States House. So we want to enhance and build the defense relationship between India and the U.S., and crucially between defense companies to help increase the manufacture of defense products.
So far, how do you see the trajectory between India and the US in terms of defense? And what's the way forward when it comes to the defense cooperation, collaboration, perhaps co production?
I think it's been very positive. I mean, it started, 10, 15 years ago. For a long time, there was not much of a relationship at all. But there was a really concerted effort across multiple administrations in both countries to build on that, to try to get us to the point where we are sharing more defense production and working closer together. The two largest democracies in the world, we have a natural relationship and partnership. Very large Indian American community in the U.S. My district, in particular, in the Seattle Bellevue area, has a large Indian American population. So we want to grow that relationship, increase trade, and increase our ability to produce defense products. And I think we're headed in the right direction. I will say we got a long way to go. I think the potential is limitless.
Potential is limitless. You've aptly described it like that. But when it comes to India-US relationship, what's your view like? Because here in Delhi, there is a lot of increased skepticism, and we have seen that's primarily because of the comments by the US President Donald Trump, his comments on tariffs, 25% plus 25%, 50%. So how do you, as a congressman, characterize the relationship?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm a Democrat. I'm from the opposite party. I don't support the president's language. I don't support the tariffs. I understand why he did it. He's focused on trying to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. I don't agree that that's going to work, and I think some of the language that has been used has been unnecessarily divisive with India. I know that the president thinks that India is an incredibly important partner. He wants a strong relationship. So whatever the rhetoric is, some of the actions, other things want to move in a different direction. But no, I don't think that's helpful. I think that generates, more tension between our two countries. That's part of the reason we're here, is we want to have other members of Congress, other people come out. It's good that we now have an ambassador here. We've had several meetings with Ambassador Gore. I think he's going to significantly improve the relationship. But yeah, it's a little tense right now. I want to see it get better.
I know it's the executive, Donald Trump, but what's the view at the Hill, at the Congress, when it comes to India-US relationship?
There's incredibly strong support. And bipartisan, House and Senate, people recognize how important a partner India is and want to build and enhance that relationship. I'm a member of the India caucus in the House. It's a very large, very bipartisan caucus. I mean, we see the potential for the relationship and our shared interests in the region, concern about the role that China is playing. How do we make sure that we have an adequate deterrence to that and work together? So there's very strong bipartisan support for the U.S.-India relationship in Congress.
But do you think that the Congress will be able to give a sense to the president when it comes to the India-US relationship? Because perhaps the last few months, the last 1 year has been the worst in terms of the relationship when it comes to last 20 years, because it looks like the gains of 20 years have been reversed in many ways.
Yeah, I don't think the gains have been reversed. I think that's an overstatement. I mean, there are too many relationships that have been built to be reversed by just a few words from our president and those actions. So I think there's a greater strength there. But look, I'm going to be honest with you. I find it troubling that the president has said some of the things he said and how it has, made the relationship more divisive than it should be. And I think we need to work to rebuild that. I think there is more strength underlying that than just a few actions by this president can change.
And you're hopeful the tariffs will be removed, because there are hints coming from the top Trump officials, including by the president himself, who recently, last week in Davos, said that there will be a trade deal.
Yeah, well, we're building towards that trade deal. And I know India just today announced their trade deal with the EU. That gives greater incentive and urgency to us getting that deal done. And I know there's a desire to do that. And I'm hopeful that we can reduce the tariffs as a result of that. And, domestically, there's a lawsuit working its way through the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court could remove the tariffs as being illegal, that the president didn't have the power to do them without Congress. So there's a lot of things that can happen here in the near term that would reduce those tariffs. I and a lot of other members of Congress are working all of those avenues to try and bring those tariffs down.
Over last 1 year, we have seen a tilt by the Trump administration towards Pakistan, which has created a lot of bad will, I would say, here in Delhi, given the fact that Pakistan supports cross-border terrorism into India. Is it here to stay, or is it just a fleeting thing which is happening in Washington?
I think that's a slight misinterpretation by India. I don't think President Trump has tilted towards Pakistan. We have individual relationships with every country in the world. We have an individual relationship with India. We have an individual relationship with Pakistan. I hope, and I can understand why India would view it that way, but I don't really see it as a tilt towards Pakistan. We're trying to manage that relationship as we're trying to build on this relationship. So I don't think India needs to worry about the U.S. abandoning India for Pakistan. That's not where I see this administration headed, even as much as I disagree with the tariffs. And, they put tariffs on Pakistan and everybody else as well. I do understand India got more because of the Russian oil issue. But, no, I wouldn't interpret it as a tilt towards Pakistan.
Mm-hmm. On that note, thank you so much, sir, for speaking to WION and giving us your time. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
With video journalist Neeraj Patel, Sidhant Sibal for WION in New Delhi.